When you factor in the economy, the economic situation that Barack Obama inherited, and certainly some things he's done since he took over as president, the situation in North Korea, the escalating tensions in Iran, basically things all across the country. What do you think, how many presidents have had more issues to deal with at the start of their presidency than Barack Obama has?
Well, I think that's difficult to compare. I mean, in the case of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you're dealing there with the rise of Tojo in Japan, Hitler in Germany, and a Great Depression. So I think FDR probably would have a situation that would be commiserate. I think if you look at what Ronald Reagan stepped into with the Jimmy Carter recession, the fact that we were substantially behind the Soviets in the arms race at that particular point in time, and that was a global conflict. People forget sometimes, because that seems like ancient history, how much of a threat the Soviet Union once was. So I think it's commiserate with things that we've seen in recent history, and because of that, I had been saying even as well over a year ago that I thought whoever won this last election, particularly if it was a Democrat, because that would mean the Democrats would control the presidency, the Congress, and the Senate, which means they have nobody else to blame things on. The Republicans found out a few years ago, when you don't have a straw man on the other side to blame things on, people have a tendency to hold you accountable for everything. So, John, that's why I thought well over a year ago, as we discussed this leading up to the caucuses and during the last presidential election, that the next president, unless they were a politician of astute skill, was likely going to be a one-term president because of the amount of crises that they would have to navigate through. It just would be impossible to do that without alienating too many people to run for re-election. Now, of course, that's incumbent upon the opposition party, which in this case would be the Republicans, to get its act together. And what I find interesting, and you're seeing this here in Iowa, where Chet Culver's approval ratings for the second consecutive quarter in the Survey USA poll are at a paltry 42%. Now, you would think that would make him very, very susceptible to defeat in the 2010 midterm elections. Problem is that same exact poll has Republican approval ratings at 28%, the lowest they've been since 1985. So how come it seems as if, while Barack Obama's popularity numbers dip nationally, Chet Culver's nosedive here in Iowa, how come it seems as if the loyal opposition party, in this case the Republicans, aren't the beneficiaries of that? I think that seems to indicate there's a huge trust gap between the American people and the Republican Party, and I think that, more than anything else, is the reason, even more than empty slogans of hope and change, that Barack Obama became the President of the United States last November.